What's up guys, FallenRedZeo here, and today we got some more Marvel Legends coming in, of course, to celebrate the release of Ant-Man and the Wasp. I forgot what the movie was called. But so we have some Ant-Man figures coming up here, of course. So this is the release day of Ant-Man and the Wasp, so we'll have a review up you can watch later tonight if you want to check out our thoughts on the movie. But here we have our first set, which is going to be the Astonishing Ant-Man set, which comes with an Ant-Man and a Stinger, and I believe this was supposed to be a Toys R Us exclusive. We ended up getting it from Entertainment Earth since, you know, Toys R Us is out of business now and you can't get it, so we ended up getting it from there, and I believe that's what this pack, usually 2 packs like this are Toys R Us. But here, of course, we'll go into more detail. We have like a, these are from the comic book version, so back here on the box, you can see the Astonishing Ant-Man, sorry, comic there, with Ant-Man and Stinger, which Stinger is Scott Lang, so Paul Rudd's character in the movies. It's his daughter is who Stinger is, and I believe this is still the Paul Rudd Scott Lang Ant-Man, I believe, but that's more modern costumes for that. So we have that set that we'll go into, and of course look at the figures and everything. And then we have this giant set, which I cannot fit into the camera, but it's just a giant Marvel Legends Ant-Man set. So this is a couple years old. I don't know if I can see on here anywhere. 2015 I see the date, so it may be somewhere around 2015. I believe this was some sort of exclusive, like for Comic-Con or something. I don't remember exactly what this was, but of course we have, this is Marvel Legends set, so we have a giant Ant-Man head here on the front, and it's kind of funny. It's got little antennas you can fold up from the back and everything if you want to do that as well, but we just kind of leave them fold down. But on the inside, we've got multiple figures going on in here. Of course, we're going to look at each one, and again, I can't fit them all into screen here. So down here, we have a Goliath, 2 Ant-Man. So we have the Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man, then the Scott Lang, of course, the current one, a Hank Pym in this doctor, or I guess doctor outfit, I guess you could say, but it looks like he has a costume on underneath there. Of course, a helmet that can go on there as well. And then we have a giant man here, which of course you saw Ant-Man do it in the Civil War, the Captain America Civil War movie. He became giant, but of course I can't fit him. Maybe if I turn it sideways, there you can kind of see he's this giant figure, probably a 12-inch figure, I would say. I don't know the exact sizes, but of course these are normally like 6-inch, even though this one looks smaller. But Goliath is also the same, like giant man, huge giant, but he got small again there as well. So we've got those to look at, and we'll open all those, and just to show you on the back, of course, again, I can't get it all to fit in here, but you can see all the different characters on the back there. So we're going to go ahead and open it. We'll start with the Ant-Man and Stinger pack first, and then go to this giant Ant-Man. So let's get into it. So first up here, we have the Ant-Man and Stinger pack. So I'll probably end up calling her Wasp on accident throughout time, but this is Stinger. But of course, we'll go and start with Ant-Man here. So this is Scott Lang, again, the Paul Rudd character that you see in the current Ant-Man movies. And so this is his, like I said, a comic book version, and it's more like the more recent comic book version of him. So I'll bring it up here close so you can see his helmet there. So he does have, of course, the little helmet that they always give, because you know he's got to use the helmet stuff to be able to communicate with ants and stuff like that. And so he's got that. He's got the green eyes going on, or green, red. I'm colorblind today, apparently. Red eyes going on there, like the little antennas. His head is very loose, like on his body, like it moves so easily from side to side and stuff, and of course back and forth. Then we go to his costume. So he has, of course, this silver piece around there. Then his costume here, which I don't know like the whole origins of the Ant-Man costume and everything. Like I know what the original looked like and everything, but he goes with a lot of black and red, like as of recent years and stuff. You know, within the past, I don't know, 20 years maybe or something along those lines. So he's got the all black and red outfit here. You can see he's got designs like little triangles on there, and then another shape there on his fist, kind of reminds me of like the black suit Spider-Man. Going down here, he's got the black lines going in through the red, and then he's got a belt on here with a bunch of different little pockets, probably to hold all sorts of little things, and like the things that they use to, you know, stick the stuff to make them grow or shrink down and everything. Then going to his legs, got more of the red, then into mostly all black legs, and he's got the red spots, which looks like we have a little paint mishap on this leg there. It's kind of cutting out the shape from that side. Then on the back of his knees, like his calves have the red on them there as well. So there's not much to this figure. Like, he doesn't come with any weapons or any accessories or anything, just, you know, normal character guy. Oh, he also does have these like silver knee pads there as well, or protectors. So it's really all to it. Like, of course, he has the normal movements. He does have a nice like his ab crunch is very poppy, as you can hear. So that's kind of nice. But it's like he's got that part, but his head's all wobbly and everything. So we have the Ant-Man there. We'll move to the side and look at Stinger now. So again, this is Cassie Lang, Scott Lang's daughter. So I believe it's supposed to be what the little girl is in the Ant-Man movies. This is her So this is her outfit here. So she's kind of like Wasp, and I believe Wasp, I think maybe comic book wise, is probably her mom, or at least the second Wasp, because I know obviously Ant-Man and Wasp were the old guy, Hank Pym, and his wife, but I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But here we've got costumes that's obviously based on Wasp here, and so she's got her helmet on too that looks, you know, it's just looks like an ant also, but it has like the mandibles coming down on it. She's got antennas and pink eyes instead of the red, and I like that color there. They go into her mouth where she does have some pink lipstick going on, and then into her outfit that's all like this pinkish purple color. I don't know what you call it, maybe magenta, I don't know exactly what color you call it. But then going into there, so on her shoulders up here, of course the wings get in the way, she does have some silver circles there, and then going into the pink collar down into the black arms and then gloves, where she does have, you know, some yellow spots. I don't know if you can see, yeah, yellow spots going there, because she shoots, at least Wasp does shoots like little like laser bolt type things. I don't know what you'd call them, so I don't know if maybe she does as well, because I've never seen Stinger before. Then going into her outfit, so she has some sort of design. I assume it's supposed to be somewhat ant based design, like maybe an ant head or something going on there, that you can see the detail there on her chest and everything. Still carrying on with the pink color all the way down, and then it goes to black legs as well. And so the characters, like the stances, legs and stuff, aren't that good. Like I can get it to stand up, but its legs are in weird positions, so they didn't do a whole good job putting this together and everything, but it's still a nice looking figure, and I like the color of the pink and everything going on with her. Then of course going to her wings here on the back, of course that weren't in, so you had to just pop them in there. I like the like translucent blue color. It looked more white here in the camera to me, but they're actually like a blue color, and I really like that. And of course you can reposition them, you know, however you want them, down, up, to the side, you know, stick them back like that. However you want to do it, you can reposition the wings at all, and I just really like that. So just from the box it says, both powered by Pym particles, the ability to shrink to the size of an ant, Scott and Cassie Lang have more in common than family name. So of course just what the box says about these two. But that's going to be it for Ant-Man and Stinger. And now we'll move on to the Ant-Man set here, and we'll start out with the Giant Man. So now, most of all these characters are Hank Pym, and so they, you know, made him a lot of Hank Pym characters, except for one that we'll see here in a little bit. And I'll just go in size from the biggest down to the smallest. And I know multiple different people have played Ant-Man over the years, so I was kind of surprised they made these all Hank Pym. At least by the box, they're all labeled as Hank Pym. So I think that's interesting that they could have, you know, used some of the other people that have been Ant-Man related characters and everything, but they just made them all Hank Pym. So this is the first one we'll start out with, which of course is Giant Man. Again, like I said, was in Captain America Civil War. You saw Ant-Man become Giant Man when he was, you know, super tall and everything. And so again, this is where we get into like the red and black costume that I mentioned with the last Ant-Man figure. His little antenna things up here on his head are kind of messed up. So of course he was Ant-Man, where he used to shrink down and everything, and then he you know, messed with his stuff, kind of like in the movie, and he became really big instead, and so he became Giant Man. I believe for a while he was like stuck as a giant and stuff, and so you know, had to get used to the life of being a giant. But this is a giant figure. Again, I think it's like a 12-inch figure. I don't know the exact size, but that would be my guess. We'll go ahead and start with the head. So of course he does have some antennas going on here. I assume they're supposed to be like carryovers from being Ant-Man, but of course they're all misshapen and stuff, and it's annoying. They have some two little, like, look like eyes maybe first, supposed to be like ant eyes above his normal eyes, then his eyes. Then going into his red and black costume here, going down, you know, the red, down into the arms where he's got some black leather gloves there. Then go down his chest to a belt where he's got, you know, two little circles there on his belt. Then down into his legs, all the way into his boots. Nothing really spectacular or amazing going on with this figure. Of course, does have all the exact same movements of normal Marvel Legends. He's got the abs and everything. We'll look at the back here as well. His costume reminds me a lot, like color-wise, of Deadpool, so that's what he reminds me a lot of there. But like I said, it's got all the exact same movements and everything, so nothing really special, no weapons or anything to go with any of these figures. So they're all just going to be kind of boring figures and everything. And I don't really know what else to show. Like I said, it's got all the exact same movements, so we don't have anything special to show there. But I guess that's going to be it for Giant Man. And next out of this set, we have Goliath, which was also a character that was really big, that, you know, that grew into what would have been Giant Man there. But this time we have Goliath, and this is also Hank Pym again. These are mostly all Hank Pym. But this has been also played by other characters and in the new Ant-Man movie, which, of course, if you've seen it, you'll know, but I can tell by the commercial already before even seeing the movie, that Lawrence Fishburne's character, I believe is his name, is Goliath, or is the character Goliath and everything. So that's kind of a cool little connection there. So this figure is just a normal 6-inch Marvel Legend figure, but he does have a lot of paint issues. I don't know if you can probably see them in the camera, but like there's a lot of faded paint. He's got this weird design going in here. It looks almost like veins, but doesn't look like on purpose veins because it's just there on the shoulder. The yellow here is kind of faded in the middle. Then right here in the middle, it looks like, you know, the paint's all cracking and everything. So he doesn't look like he's in the best shape paint-wise. So he's, you know, got messed up on his arm there. Again, faded yellow. You can still see the blue underneath it and everything. So the paint job on this figure is not the best. They probably could have done a lot better, but you know, it's just whatever. So here we've got the yellow and blue outfit. Looks almost like Cyclops. So he's got gold eyes, or glasses going on there, goggles, I guess, with the 2 yellow stripes going on there. Then the yellow stripes splitting off, going down each of the arms there into the yellow gloves. Then he's got a belt on here with a bunch of gold little circles all the way around it, yellow trunks, then into the legs, or carrying on with the yellow and blue. Going down the legs into the blue, yellow boots as well there with the little spike designs going on to it and everything down there. And so again, not much into this character. It is a Marvel Legend, so again, has all the exact same movements as a Marvel Legend, so nothing special going on here. His torso is a little crooked, like it looks like it needs to be twisted more like this, but then it's, you know, off kilter and everything. So you do it because one of the legs here is kind of out of place or something. But anyway, so that's it for Goliath. So now we're getting into even smaller characters, and so this is the Hank Pym character, and of course he's in a lab coat, so he's, you know, not got the helmet on and stuff, so he's just Hank Pym, he's not Ant-Man at this point. And so he's, as I mentioned here, so we'll pull it up, and this is, I believe, a 3 3/4 figure, I believe by the size. Obviously I don't know for sure, but I believe by the size comparison and everything, that's what this is. We'll go up, you can see his face there, so that's what, you know, with comic book Hank Pym looks like and everything there. Then he's in his all-white lab coat there, of course, because he's a doctor and everything, so he's got to have a lab coat on. But underneath his lab coat, he does have his Ant-Man costume on, so you can see his classic Ant-Man costume going on underneath there with the blue and red, and then he's got some black going on his chest there as well, and the blue gloves from the costume, everything sticking out from the back, or from his hand, or on his hands. I'll spit it out sometime. And so that's just a nice little figure. And so this is a, I forget what they call them, Marvel Universe figures maybe, but it's pretty much, again, got all the same movements as the Marvel Legends, just their little tiny 3 3/4 figures. They don't have, like, you know, all the same joints like the shin joints and stuff, but they have all the same other movements there. Then it's got the same elbow joints, hands, wrists, all that stuff, shoulders, head movement, which is kind of stiff on this one, and then of course has ab crunch and stuff under there in the waist and all that going on under the costume there. And then of course he does come with an Ant-Man head, so you can't put this on, you pull it off and switch. And I think it looked cool with this one. So this is, again, you know, kind of like a classic looking Ant-Man helmet going on here with the communicator like part here in the front and everything. It's supposed to be kind of like a mandible. Then it doesn't have his antennas, which there are little holes, but I assume they're just supposed to be like inside and not sticking out, just the design of the character. So that's going to be it for Dr. Hank Pym. And our last two here are kind of going to do together. Can you even see them? They're so tiny. And so we have these two little itty bitty figures, and it's funny to see, you know, the size comparison they even did between the two little figures, if you can see them there. So the first one here we have is the Scott Lang. So this is the only character that's not Hank Pym in this whole set, and it's supposed to be the Scott Lang Ant-Man. And again, he's in a costume very similar to what you saw, but he does have a visor and like mouth breather part going on here. And so this, when Scott Lang was first brought about as Ant-Man, was his costume here. And so you can see it's got the red and black all carried out again through there, and then that helmet there. Again, it's going to be so hard to see because these are so small, but it's just a little itty bitty tiny figure. It doesn't have any movements or anything, so it's just a stationary figure. He does actually stand, which is kind of cool, because like this little Ant-Man will not stand, just the way he's positioned and everything, but he stands and everything, but again, no movements at all. And it's just a fun little character. I don't know, maybe an inch is maybe what this figure is, not exactly sure. And then next up we have our Hank Pym Ant-Man. So again, the classic Ant-Man design, and this one's even smaller, maybe like half an inch or something. But he's in the original costume again, just like the Dr. Hank Pym was, but with his actual outfit on. So he's got the helmet and everything. He's got the little tiny antennas, and then the red and blue and black costume design, original design going on there, and it's just so tiny it's hard to even hold. But again, he's got no movements, obviously. It's just a little piece of plastic. You can easily bend him around and everything, and he doesn't have any movements and doesn't do anything special, and doesn't even stand up, so that kind of stinks. You could maybe like put him in the hand of somebody, of course, like Giant Man or something. You could definitely put it in its hand, but maybe even like Goliath or something, or the normal Hank Pym, you could probably like stick it in his hand or hold it on. If you had a little ant, you could sit him on that, because he's got his legs separated like he could be riding on something. So that's kind of a fun little character. So that's it for all the characters. So of course we had those two, then we had the Doctor, Hank Pym, the Goliath, and then Giant Man going on here. And then just for Giant Man, just so you can see maybe a little bit better all in one, there is an older Giant Man costume here where he's a normal size 6-inch Marvel Legend figure here. So you can see him a lot better, you know, just so he's all in camera at one time and see him a little bit better. But that's an older Marvel Legends figure. So that's gonna be it for this giant Ant-Man set. Of course, we have this cool box here with the giant Ant-Man head on top of it. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to check out our review of Ant-Man and the Wasp. That'll be going up later tonight of the night of its release. And don't forget to subscribe to see more of our videos, and we'll see you next time.